funny that happens is I can just disconnect from the act of actually trying to put any effort into speaking. I can, like, one of the funniest things that happens when I, what is it? When I have good morning. Yeah, let me say the the reality is, by having such an easy tool to just look at when it comes to not look at, to depend on when it comes to trying in one way or another to speak, when I don't have to put any mental energy into that, um, then it gets quite easy to actually not even think about it, not even spend some energy into that. And I don't know, it's gonna be hard that now I cannot really just do that. I have to actually speak like a normal human being. So that's difficult. Why is it difficult? Because I don't tend to do that. Thank you. Yeah, I don't have the tendency to do that. I don't know. Despite all the changes and whatnot, I still tend to just whisper. Less noticeable. Um, we can remove this. We should hide this image. I can actually remove it. Yeah. And I remember this is like a pivotal image. This one. Let me. Do you wanna reset? Transform. Reset transform. Yes. Like that. And copy, paste. I can move this. I can move this. I can put it like here. And I can paste it again. And I can put it like here. And now we are in a celebratory mood somehow. Somehow? Yeah. Also, wait. No, it didn't lag actually. I was panicking because I felt like it lagged, and it didn't actually lag, so that's good. We have this. What else do we need? Probably me making the tweets, right? Like, I don't know. I tend to not even try that. I have the tendency to not even make the yeah, we're about to go live tweet. It's crazy. I I don't know. A controversial opinion, but 1 plus 1 equal to no. Wow, that's is that so unbelievable? Uh, Wait, I muted myself? No, I didn't. Okay, good. Yeah, I forget that they changed how OBS works, so I can finally utilize the question mark without muting myself by accident. Yeah. I also have a Discord. Did you know? I should probably post there that I'm going live also, like minimally. Maybe. Also, there are way too many problems to solve in a matter of seconds plus. It's not really a matter of seconds. It's just, I guess, the anxiety of having to think about all the stuff that needs to be done and whatnot. That's what feels overwhelming. Uh, there we go. I think it isn't really the. It's more like the 800 600 stream celebratory stream. There we go. Yeah. Uh, I'm missing something. What am I missing? I feel like I am missing something. Ah, yeah. Shh. Shut up. I need. I think I will probably need to like balance the audio or something. It's gonna be a pain to. I don't even know. I changed the PC, and since I did that, I had zero karaoke's. So we have delay. We have audio delay. Oh my god! And I have to fix that? Oh my god! It's fine. It's good enough, I guess. I don't know. We can solve the problem. What am I don't know, man. I can at least enjoy having, I don't know, existed for this amount of time, so that's enough. Something like that? No, that's not really enough in any way whatsoever. But, we don't worry about that part. Also, do you wanna? How much I hate how this thing works for some reason. How Discord in phone operates, or rather, does not in the slightest. That's what I hate. I I keep opening things up. Like I almost dropped my mouse. Thank God I have a gamer setup, so that means that it can't really be dropped. The cable can only be hanging a little bit before it runs out of cable to crash against anything. So good. Starting soon. Fuck. Okay. Good morning. Yes. For a special occasion, we play this and we hire this. Good morning. There we go. We are so back. It's lagging already. No! I hate. I don't know. I had to choose this time of the day, so yeah, it's an interesting choice, I guess. But it can happen. I have to focus. That's what I have to. There are way too many things. I don't know. I feel like it's alright to some degree. Not really, not entirely, not even remotely. But you learn to not worry about any of those things. Actually. So yeah, later there are two things regarding the karaoke. I have to actually set it up. Like, I have to fix the delay, which I forgot to do. I could even probably take a break for that because I know it's incredibly complicated to do. Much like up to the milliseconds, how much the audio needs to be delayed or whatnot. That's one thing, and what's the other one? I have no music. Like, I have music. I have to mentally think out what's the list of things gonna be. I know music. Like yeah, I have in my life. I have at least once heard the music indeed. So we have that. But anyway, that's like for the very far future, like 1 hour from now, and that future version of me will have to deal with the problems. For now, we can just start with this. Good morning. It has been a long time. Um, Yesterday, I didn't stream. I said that it was gonna be about, or it was gonna be because I had exams. I love the educational system in Argentina. I literally had to go to the school to learn right then and there that actually, you know what, we are not having the exam. So yeah, that was fun for sure. Um, Besides that, also I just realized we have both the clock. Like the, there is something broken with the last handful of patches that changed the hiding and not hiding sources on OES, and that's driving me crazy. Anyway, yeah, I was saying something funny that happened was that yeah, I said that this week we're not really having that many streams because I do have exams. Like supposedly, I should have an exam tomorrow. Supposedly, we will see. We will find out soon enough. I like how I don't really know at this point. I can only assume that we might actually have it tomorrow. We might not. Who knows? Only time can tell. I guess I know. It's fun to live like that. To live in such uncertainty is always fulfilling. But all of that does not matter. We're not here to talk about that. Yeah. I don't know. The only actual most important thing that I have in mind is it feels weird to be here. To be in one way or another celebrating, it's strange. It's good morning, Charles. I hope you're doing very good. Yeah, I don't know. It's a strange sensation in one way or another. You don't really feel like it might like okay. I have on the very first moment I was like, oh wow, yet again we're on another 100 streams milestone, and at some point it doesn't really matter, but that's the initial first impression. When you try to actually think about it, I don't know. I don't really understand why is it so hard to actually just keep doing what you seem to like and such. So it feels not exactly necessary. It feels worth enough to actually try to attempt to celebrate what you actually care about and such. Because in the end, I don't know. I see 600 streams. How much time has that been? 2 years? 2 years and a half, I think? I don't know. I I have a Word, no, yeah, a Word basically, a Word file somewhere saved with that information of when I started. But until I can find it, we're gonna be sitting here for a while. I should try to look it up actually. But yeah, point is, when you actually have to think out that aspect of, okay, then this 2 years and a half, what have you learned, what have you seen, what have you encountered and what not, then it feels entirely strange to think that, and somehow that's not the norm. Somehow not many people for some reason or another try to actually remain like I don't really know. It's for some reason or another we just the more you keep doing something that you like, while also surrounded by people that seems to like what they do, they themselves too, the more you keep encountering how many people might not actually be absolutely capable of sticking to it for one reason or another. So when that happens, when you encounter that, when you have to think out that aspect, then you end up feeling like, oh wow. So somehow this is actually in the whole context of what you see around you. Then it becomes far more significant. For some reason or another, it's not the norm that we end up doing stuff like this. For some reason or another, it should not at all be why. No, it should not at all be normalized that such problems remain always present. They don't need to be like that. It's, I don't know. It's just strange. In one way or another, I don't really have that many words to say it. I feel like it's strange in the end, but at the same time, it's wonderful to be. And simply happy. Happy in the most basic sense to know that, yeah, we will remain. That's my whole point of the celebration. I don't know. I was being honest, trying to be a little bit more honest. I I have been for so long thinking about it in terms of it's crazy to actually also have in mind the reality that there are so many wonderful things that have happened unavoidably. Yet another 100 streams means that it has been great enough to not actually miss the being here in itself, which is good. It doesn't stop being any strange because in the end, once again, I don't know, it always has that strange sensation. It doesn't really seem to be the norm. I wish it wasn't the case that it carried with itself that strangeness, that other aspect to it, that other thing, but it's because it then feels like that, because it then gets to have that meaning, then 600 streams don't get to just mean 600 streams, so to speak, and that makes being here fantastic, and it has been quite a good journey to say it simply. Yeah, it has been quite a wonderful journey. Also, I found I found the PDF. It's not a PDF. It's a literal TXT. We started on September 19th, 2023. Almost 3 years ago. That's a fucking lot. Uh, that's way too much. Uh, but I don't know. We're gonna. It's gonna be interesting to try and talk out that sort of stuff. Is yeah. Uh, because if I have to be real, there were a lot of things that ended up making it so that while we are now present in this moment and whatnot, it doesn't really in any way mean that, yeah, for sure, we have been and we have gotten to enjoy in any way all the things for so long. I don't. It has been 3 years almost then of being here, but it really hasn't been 3 years of being consistently here. It has been fun. But point is, yeah, it's nice. It's good to be. And if I have to say, it's it's great. I can only hope that we can continue in here probably. And I don't know, looking forward to everything else. I feel like it's strange also that that's another sort of aspect to how do you feel you have improved philosophically over this journey. Yeah, I if I have to look into it, like when I just started, I hadn't even began studying any sort of philosophy. Throughout the process of beginning during these 3 years, I got to properly delve into most of the major works, at least of the most important authors for different reasons. Some of them were voluntarily explored, some others I had to actually go out of my way in order to read and experience all of what they talked about. Not simply because I wanted to, but because I am surprised actually to see how connected the world of psychology and philosophy are. So I ended up having to read quite a lot of philosophy because the what is it? The programs? Do you call them that? The the contents that certain classes, let's say, have contained philosophical works. Like some of them are not so directly philosophy, but they are the natural, no, sorry, social sciences which were born out of that. So it's pretty much a combination of those two, and it's good. It's good. I uh, I can admit, anyways. Point being, yeah, I think quite a lot has changed, and I I am yearning to have a proper free time to, I don't know, delve a month or two into all of that again, because otherwise I will continue exploring it. But having when we started, I wasn't even in a career, so I had so much more free time to actually dedicate myself to just philosophy and nothing else. And that was amazing. And nowadays, because I am trying to get the career done, it's it's time consuming. So suddenly I end up having to pay attention to the career. Although I that's a different conversation in terms of can you get the insight and the awareness of why you are being forced to study all of that and whatnot, which I can, but it doesn't really mean that I like how we go about it. Also, thank you. I hope you can take a responsibility, say, and I don't know, you are willing to pay the child support. Otherwise, see you in court tomorrow. Uh, but yeah, welcome. I hope you're fine. I don't know. I don't think it's really. One second. I think I didn't say it that much, but I don't really feel like it's so much of a celebration. But at the same time, it ends up somehow being like it shouldn't be something to celebrate over, something worth cherishing. But at the same time, in reality, you won't encounter that for some reason or another. You won't. I don't know. I don't really sit right with the idea that you know what, I have this thing that I adore and I decide to just fucking give up on it. What? But yeah, point is, yeah, it was all me, Barry. It was all me. That time you were in front of your crush and anyway, but yeah. I was in. Yeah, sorry. In the point of And yeah, generally speaking, then changes have been made, and I'm more than glad that that happened. I I can only look forward to getting to continue exploring philosophy, and I don't know, I am yearning to also have the possibility to either return or restart something like the Mahabharata. One of the few things that I have been entirely angry about this entire year so far has been not having the opportunity to dedicate myself to that, because either I am mentally exhausted or I am persuaded by other temptations. I don't know how to say it, but I don't know, at some point we're gonna have the possibility of focusing on that, and when that happens, we're gonna be liberated from the restraints of existence. I don't know. And yeah, point is, the answer to the question of how was it exactly? How do you feel? Have you have improved philosophically over this journey? Yeah, I feel like I have, and I feel like I, compared to who I was when all of this started, like I don't know, I was maybe like a children in most senses of the word when it comes to knowledge about any of those things, and it has been good. Now I might just be an adolescent. We have yet to reach adulthood with ideas. I am happy that we have gotten to explore all of that, and we shall try to look even further into even more things, I guess, yeah. But I don't know. It's good. It's natural also. Like I don't really talk about that. I feel like it's funny to experience that yourself. You have to encounter that if you have the interest in reading philosophy, then you go ahead and open something and you actually read it, and then you face the emotion, sensation, reality of okay, what I am reading, as long as I can give myself the opportunity to understand what is in front of me, might as well have some sort of impact on my own existence. Like the most basic analogy always utilized is the Plato's cavern. You are at some point going to quote unquote awaken. Not in this sense, I am not talking about an awakening, simply you're going to have to confront, I don't know, instead of having just seen the shadows, let's say, you get to see the rest of the world, the outside, and sometimes it's incredibly intimidating, and it's incredibly stressful, depressing, intense in itself, but it's good enough. So why is this point being made? Because yeah, even if like one of the many concessions that I have to do over here is, even if we were to only dedicate ourselves to philosophy, like let's say I have no other occupation to take care of out of nowhere. Even if that were to happen, I wouldn't simply have the possibility of dedicating myself just to reading, just to philosophy. It's necessary to have other sort of comfort, relaxation, distraction, healing factor out there. It's hard to be willing to read something and find that sentence or that idea or that analogy or that something that can affect you well enough, deep enough, that can activate something within you and continue to do that every single time that you have to without pausing. It's I feel like I might be justifying myself, but I feel like it's quite necessary for any person who wants to actually read philosophy to have the process of slowly digesting things. So it's good that we have been doing that, and I am happy that that has been happening. So yeah, I don't know. We still have a lot of future to look forward to. Like later on, one of the few things I did think about for this time, because I am also angry. I I said I was angry that we didn't reach the Mahabharata, and I am angry not that I didn't finish it. I have to admit it's hungry. No, angry, angry, not hungry. I am not hungry. I am angry. Anger, 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 anger. Same. I'm ordering lunch. Sorry, Alonfi. Sorry. Wingstop? What the fuck is Wingstop? Is that real? Are you shit posting? Hungry. Hungry for. I'm not gonna finish that sentence. Angry. But yeah. Also, wait. No, yeah. See, even the fucking subtitles understand what I'm trying to say. Ah, it's an American chain for chicken wings. Understandable. Wingstop. Is that real? Let me see. Is this real? Yeah, it is. What the fuck? First time. I love American people having 1,000 chains for things like. It's not like here. We don't have stuff like Mostaza, which you probably never heard about. But yeah, point is. I'm not angry that I didn't finish the model. I tend to overestimate way too much the world. No, underestimate too much things. What? What the fuck are you talking about? What? Are you... Stop crashing out, brother. What the fuck are you talking about? What? What are you saying? What are you saying? What? What? You have to be sick posting me. Wait. Holy shit! This is real? And it's... wow! What? What? Ah. Ay, ay, ay. No, thank God I don't live in fucking Buenos Aires, so I don't have to worry about that. I, I am not burdened by the chorus of Buenos Aires. But yeah, wow. 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 Like, that's way too much. Wow. That's... Branding can have that name? What the fuck? Unbelievable. Anyway, it's fun. Wow. We don't talk about that place. Wow. It was a real unbelievable. My god. What was I saying? Ah, yeah. Dear god. Holy fuck. What a... what a great place. I don't know if that is actually something great. What a crazy, schizophrenic place to live in. That it is to live in Argentina. That's a proper... Yeah, that's the proper idea. What the fuck? Ah, yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Returning to the point of the model. I underestimated how hard it is to learn to use Blender. So I was like, yeah, let me get a degree on Blender out of nowhere, and I will make my own model. And then I tried to do that, and then I was like millimeters away from doing it, because holy fuck, how absolutely schizophrenic it is to utilize Blender. I don't know, I hope. The problem is, okay, I guess it's time to make the first transition into let me get the canvas working because it's way too fucking annoying. But let me here. Where do I go? I can put myself literally anywhere. Over here, I guess. Over here, and we capture. Do you have Krita? There we go. Krita, are you registering as a program? There we go. We can come here. 3D is fact. 3D is trash. 3D does never beat live 2D. That's like what I have seen so far. I think, I don't know, besides probably Centreo, like, yeah, the only Vtuber which, no, okay, sorry, Centrea and Filian, besides those, like, what's the word? Out of the norm characters, so to speak, out of the norm, outliers, more than impressive. In this case, works of art, like I don't know, it's amazing. Besides the more Gunner aspect of it, it's still wonderful how much of a great 3D something like Centraia gets to have, and while it isn't as Gunner coded, it to some degree it is still like that. Gunner Raid, it's I'm sorry, I am trolling. I am actively trolling. Also, I didn't even see that you were live, sorry. But it's fine, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you are here. Yeah, welcome, Sam. No, sorry. Way too fucking social for my own sake. But no, yeah, don't worry, man. It's fine, it's fine. It's part of the process. It's raid or no raid, it's all part of life. Also, give me a second because I'm trying to fucking connect this. There we go. Now, this goes into... I'm gonna have a stroke moving so many cables around. Okay, I have it. Now, here I don't have the guitar riff, so here we don't have... No! Oh, it's fine. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. There we go. I did have it, but for some reason, it doesn't... whatever. We're not here to worry about obvious problems. That's not the point. Here. So, I was saying, where? Oh my god, why is it so fucking tiny? Can you make it like... Wait, there is a... Which button is it? This one? No. Certainly not that one. How do you fit the entire canvas to the screen? Does somebody remember? This one. Is it this one? This one. Is it like this? I feel like I'm not doing it right. Okay, there we go, there we go, there we go. I have it, I have it, I have it. Okay. We have it. Okay, I was saying, 3D is bad, but at the same time, 3D is godly. So, what does this mean? I feel like, how do you actually articulate the idea well enough? The reality is, in many cases, the usefulness of something like a 3D model seems to be completely undermined by the fact that the choices that are made towards these very same 3D models are the more normal things, like, I don't know, a very simple normal guy who just looks like this and has, like, I don't know, a shirt and something like that, and that's a 3D model, and that's the entire meme. And is that good? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not so much actually. But point is that yeah, I had something. I didn't say anything about it last time because I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna make the model. So the reality is I am not gonna make it. I am at some point. At some point, I'm gonna finally get tired enough of the waiting for the something else to exist, to happen in reality, I don't know, and then I'm gonna commit to it. Because also, I had a sudden. Do you know how incredibly irritating it is to know I have a model idea? Problem is, I know that I cannot commission it because there is no way any actual artist is gonna be like, yeah, acceptable. Parenthesis. You can do it for $10,000. I don't have $10,000. And even if I had them, I wouldn't spend them on a model for sure. So, how the fuck do you arrive at something like that? There was a certain conversation that I had some while ago. I think it was with this guy who you all might know called Kleiner brother, where the point was that yeah, in reality, when you talk about what the model itself actually is, it's in reality it is like, do you know there is an entire conversation about how the silhouette of your Vtuber model has to be identifiable enough by its own. Like, I remember, for example, even like Say was talking about it not so long ago, you know, and the idea is that you make something that looks enough by itself, you know, because in the end you end up with something that doesn't need that much elaboration, you know. So, okay, wait, sorry, I touched the cable. That's supposed to not happen, but we can touch the cable because it is the acceleration stream. What the fuck? Wrong line. Let's do it like this. Okay. Okay. This is an outline, right? So you start adding things so that, I don't know, then it has something like a halo, and I don't know, it has something like a bat wing so that you cannot identify it so easily. Like, it slowly, progressively, and surely becomes more a thing of its own, right? Okay. The reality is, I was like, you know what? What I should do? No, wait, I'm deleting way too much. I kinda fucked up there. I can rewrite. I'm a professional, anyways. So, I was like, what if we take something like a mannequin and apply to that everything else? So, we begin with something like actually like this. Like, the outline of the model is this. Not, okay, no. Obviously it's not this, because in the end, I'm just making a simpler representation. I am not an artist. I cannot really make to you something like a very detailed male body, which has the six-pack and has all the proper proportions for something like a shoulder and the arm, and no, I'm not that good. I know it. I have seen it out there. I cannot replicate that, so we will have to content ourselves with a simple sketch, because in the end there is something funny also happening here. Do you know when you strike gold and you say, okay, this idea cannot be done? No, I am not entirely sure how, but I know that it won't happen. Like, I don't even really have that pressure on, oh no, I have to get this out. No, I just wanna copy it anyways. Isn't it funny? Isn't it great that it is not, it's not a necessity of, oh no, if I don't make small, then somebody will come before me and will imitate this thing. So, no, that's not gonna happen actually. So we are saved. We are golden. But point is, yeah. That so in the process of me deciding, in pause for a second. The proper story is when we reached the 500 streams, I finally, I think at that point or a little bit after, I finally said, okay, I have realized what I want. I already have had for 100 or so streams in my mind what the mode is gonna be. But as I said, trying to make this something like an actual 3D is probably dead. And the feet, you don't say anything about the feet. Like he also has fucking, what's the word? Nabbings for feet, and you don't say anything about that. You think it's fine to have your feet cut off, but not your hands? What's your problem? It's it's fine. Point is, so at that point I said I have an idea, and now I want to actually show that I have an idea. The problem is I don't have the will force nor the time actually to just simply sit through the pain of mastering something like a Blender, or even more if there is any other. I think Blender for some reason is like the main free 3D software, the standard, which is widely used. Everything else is really not understood, not talked about, not shown around, not anything like that. Maya is the standard, but isn't Maya paid? Like, Blender. Once again, I know that Blender. Let me see. Maya 3D. Because Autodesk Maya. Yeah, you have to buy. Yeah, it's professional. Yeah. That's what I mean. Blender is the standard for the free stuff. Like Maya, unavoidably, you can use Maya, but you also have to pay for Maya. ZBrush is a standard for 3D sculpting. Understandable. So, Blender is what I know works for the open software market, and trying to actually learn to do that was like mind-breaking. I don't know, I probably spent 20 hours or so consuming tutorials, and it was wonderful how little you can actually learn from there. Unless you're making a professional game or working for Disney, you won't be using Maya. No, yeah. That's the quality itself of Maya, I know, is wonderful, but at the same time, you don't really have to utilize Maya. Like, if you know 3D software with the tools that Blender provides you, you already probably have enough. And you also have to not pay for any kind of license. And I don't know, it's like does a mannequin really need that much detail? I wouldn't go out of my way to try to get it. But yeah, point being, what is actually the point? Yeah. Having consumed way too much information, I was like, wow, I must be ready. And it's incredible. Like, there is a meme of how certain softwares and certain games, for example, have like an entry curve of like, you progressively discover more difficult things, then you get to, with more time invested, the more time you invest, the more time you get to actually master things, the more you actually get to become better at the thing. Then at some point also it can happen. For example, the normal thing is the barrier of entry is incredibly low, and to be a master you might have to spend a lot of time. The other thing is also the more it's quite hard to actually start to understand, but once you do that, then it's pretty much a plateau from there. Okay, with Blender, there is like a meme which also is used for something like Dwarf Fortress with Blender. It actually is a fucking loop. Because I don't know how people actually learn Blender. You have to spend years of your life to make sense out of how Blender works. It's way too complicated. So, I don't have the time nor the patience to learn Blender just to make one model. If it was for something else, like I don't know, I was trying to convince myself, yeah, you know what, I'm going to use Blender for sure for video editing. Fuck Blender. Entirely. Fuck Blender. I don't care about Blender anymore. So no, maybe I will move on from the anger at some point in life and I will return to it, but for now, no interest. So the point is, after having learned that I only possess the mental image of what the model looks like, there is no other way to see it, and as I said before, it's way too unique. I don't think anybody's going to actually copy it in any way whatsoever, sadly, so I can give you everything, and you can try to put it together yourself, mentally speaking, because also this is like this is, think of it as you have a real image, then like, yeah, you have the real image of something, the thing in itself, which is real, okay, you take a picture of that, and maybe the picture is like a 480 by 480 image of that, which is incredibly low resolution, but at least it captures that, okay, this is, instead of a 480 by 480 picture, this might be a 50 by 50 picture of it, 50 pixels by 50 pixels, in terms of definition and whatnot. But anyway, because at this point I have already been way too fucking long trying to explain something that I am not actually explaining. Point is, the model looks something like you have instead of eyes. I was like, yeah, you know what would be funnier than being an actual human normal being? Like, I don't know, as I said before, instead of just being something like a guy in his normal looks, instead of being something like that, and just having a great drip or something of that sort to symbolize something, instead of having anything like that, what is philosophy about symbols and ideas and messages and meaning? What if we instead take symbols? What if instead we utilize symbols? So I was like, okay, then somewhere in the body, this is also why we have a black canvas, a completely black canvas, because it begins from there, and then the contrast between that and the impressions generated from the symbols themselves of something like, okay, then what if we have something like a peace symbol somewhere, and that will go or here, like on the very top of the head, you know? Wow, we have a peace symbol over here, and that's it. That goes on the, I don't know, yeah. There is no hair, unavoidably, it's bald, thank you. Then instead of ears, what's more symbolic than an ear? Volume. What if we have the volume symbol? What if we have this thing here and something similar on this other side, you know? And I was like, holy shit, I am so clever. This is so simple to design. And then reality came and it was like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Do you understand how difficult it is to find a model like that? I will probably need to make myself the 3D model, if I want something so fucking detailed. So that's also why it's incredibly hard to make it. But, as I said before, don't worry, it doesn't matter. What if, in the other side, we have something like an ear, but what is also part of an ear? The symbol of no sound, no noise. So, we already have so many symbols. Unbelievable! Then, what's a symbol for the eyes? What's a symbol for something of that sort? What's an incredibly simple representation? What's something that you listen when people talk about the eyes? What are the eyes? The eyes are the windows of the soul. That's it. So then, instead of fucking eyes, what if we have a window here? Ta-da! Unbelievable! You see, it all starts to take to be shaped in some way or another. And out of nowhere, everything makes so much sense. And that's why also it makes so much sense that actually it's fucking impossible to make it. It's incredibly hard in any way to put this into a real model if you have zero practice like I do. So, I don't know. If you have... I didn't see anything about it before, but maybe my estimation will be that by 2028 or so, we will finally have a semblance of that model. Because for now, it remains incredibly simple. Because, like, as I have been trying to slowly describe, every single part of it has some sort of symbol in some place or another. Like, what's something that could, instead of a mouth, symbolize a mouth? Wow, do you know what's also the symbol for a mouth? Something like a zipper. So, what if we have a zipper here? What if we make some, and so on and so forth? And that's also why the model was like, you know what? You are not gonna be ever materialized into anything because you are fucking having delusions of grandeur, brother. But I don't know, sometimes you have to wish for things, you have to hope that the world is gonna work in the way in which you hope things worked, and in doing so, you might achieve great things. So, I achieved the vision, I have it in my mind. The problem is, now, we have to actually make it work, which is gonna be hard. Also, for example, like, as I have been saying, there are way too many of those. Like, every single part of it will be... Have you ever seen those people in real life? Those people that are like incredibly tattooed themselves? It's, in the end, it's something like that. But with this other strategy, this other approach to it. Because in the end, that will be how things have to look like. It will be probably incredibly overwhelming to look at in terms of visual information. Because, once again, it's all symbols. It's not something that you don't look at and instantaneously understand. It's like way too much stuff. So, it's fine. It's fine. We have stuff like that over there. We have something like that over here with what, instead of something like a proper chain, because in the end, it's a good idea to have a chain, right? What if we don't have a chain? What if we... What's the human being chained by? Isn't that such a simple answer? We are beings of time, so what if we have a clock around the neck? What if that's what you will see all around here? Unbelievable! So I was like that, and then we end up with yet another symbol over there, with yet another thing that I should somehow materialize, that I will be like, what the fuck are you talking about? So, in the accumulation of those things, I slowly started to realize, I see. Maybe the model will never actually exist. For now, you're not really giving up. I'm only accepting that my standards are way too fucking high. At some point, it will exist, as I said before, like, partially shockingly. I never seen you stream midday don't worry, welcome Torney, hope you're doing amazing. It's a very special occasion, that's why we are on the middle of the day streaming, because otherwise I wouldn't be. I have adopted a nightly stream routine. Right now, you are having in front of you an incredibly basic representation of what my dreamed redesign will be like. How the fuck do we go from a potato to something like this? Don't ask me. Because I don't really know. I don't know, something about an artist being cursed by a vision that they will have to carry forward, something like that. Also, something poetic, something like very symbolic. It's this one I can actually make here. Do you know what's so important that every single person has? Ta-da! Incredible! Unbelievable! A heart. And where is the heart gonna be? Where the heart is, or where the heart commonly is put in representations. So that's yet another thing. Incredible, unbelievable. It's fantastic work. Like, for example, another thing that I was like, oh my god. And you know what? Because in the end, I myself, if I could, I would do it. I just don't really think that I would ever go out of my way to get it, because I am not in the situation to think about it myself, about doing it, let's say. But there is something funny about hands and whatnot. That is the different digits that everyone has, right? So we have something like the fingers and whatnot. And you know what? What if we, in every single finger, had something like a letter? Also, I made it way too fucking thin. You cannot even see it. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's impossible to actually make this visually understandable because of how loaded it is. But yeah, I was like, so, what goes here? And you know what? What's more symbolic for hands than language? And what's more symbolic for language than literal letters? So I was like, okay, and in every single one of these points we will have different letters. So I don't know, here let's say goes something like a say, here it goes something like a D, here something like a, I don't know, like an A, you know, and so on and so forth, with every single digit, with every single part of the hand, with both hands. It's unbelievable. The model is, as I said before, I am happy that I reached the idea, and I am more than sure that there is no way to actually copy it, because, once again, there are way too many details to it. Like, talk about the fucking over a complicated model. Okay, but we have it. The point is, we have it, and I am happy that I reached a notion that I want to commit to. Today, I finally do that. But yeah, now we probably are done. Enough of showing this thing, because it also is overwhelming for me to remember all of this stuff and remember that I never actually made it. So that's the model. Thank you. As I said before. So in the 500 celebration stream, I said, yeah, I have an idea for a model. I'm gonna work on that. And I tried to work on that, and then I realized how physically impossible it is to actually work on that, like realistically speaking. So we are not working on that. For now, we are not working on that. I don't know. I have no clue how can some people actually dedicate so much of themselves to making such models happen, because I myself can't. But I hope that I will. At some point, things will change, and the world will be much brighter, and life will be much more beautiful, and everything else will come into order, so that I can go on a vacation for 2 months and just dedicate myself to that until I finally get it. Then we'll have to ever again worry about a model. But that's not the case right now, so it's fine. We have, at least I have something. Like, between not having even an idea, a clue of where to proceed, and at least seeing it, having the vision in your head, completely content with the vision. So yeah, that's the model, I guess. Like, once again, it's kind of impossible to put it. I think the proper representation of it is gonna be a pain in the ass. And another thing that I realized is like, do you know when artists talk about trying to draw way too complicated models and whatnot? Okay, that's the literal example of an impossible to draw model. Because in the end, how the fuck do you draw something that has so many details? Like, I am being honest, I have it saved on somewhere. Let me see it. The canvas that I have saved with all the proper symbols has like 100, 120 or so yeah. It's kinda hard to actually make that in any cohesive, understandable idea. So yeah, I am sorry for all my artist friends. I am not afraid of my creation, I have to admit, just that it has been quite an interesting development, which I wasn't expecting even. But I am happy, I guess. I don't know. Can I really say that I don't like having shaped that? No, no. I utilized the analogy of the being which is burdened by the visions, because to some degree it is every other day, every single day that I keep existing, knowing that that model doesn't exist in itself is torturesome. But I can allow myself to not think about that part of life, so long as I don't actually have to think about the model. Because in the end, I don't know, I feel like from an artistic perspective, it's something that I will actually be entirely happy to see. I feel like when we talk about visual representations of the human being and whatnot, somehow I do encounter that that's not what has been the case most of the time. I think I have seen like a handful of those, only a very, very handful of such approaches to the way in which you can symbolize the human model and such. Otherwise, it's entirely absent. But it's good, it's good. Point is that, yeah, we have that. So, that's for the model. Because, as I said before, I am angry. I'm not angry that I didn't make it. I'm angry that as I tend to do myself, I have ideas and I have projects and I have visions of things which I don't share to some degree, because sometimes I feel like it's disappointing to see those things never actually reach an end. It's stressful or annoying to realize that somebody has something in their mind, and for different reasons they are incapable of actually making that present, making that work in any way. So yeah, I can admit it's something similar enough to that in this case too, that I for any reason whatsoever I haven't really finished that. But at the same time, as I said before, at least I live entirely happy, because in reality, again, it's something that I see weighs down most people when it comes to, but I don't wanna, I have this idea that I don't wanna share, despite the other aspects of it. Also because I know that if I were to do, not to do it, if I were to talk about it, and if the idea were to actually be heard by someone, then people will say like, yeah, I can copy it. I'm more than happy that I think about it as I actually somehow struck gold with that. Only that instead of it being gold, it's more like fucking obsidian, and I have my simple steel punching hand. I don't have a diamond pickaxe to mine it slowly but surely. I have to be 8 hours punching obsidian until I can finally break the block. So, no. It's gonna be a pain to get that. But we are gonna get it. At some point in life, I don't know. As I said before, 2028. I have to assume, I have to believe, I have to hope that it will actually work like that. Otherwise, it's gonna be crazy. To see that I never finished the model after so long will be disappointing even for myself. Right now, I don't wanna give an estimate of, yeah, next year. I don't think so. But that's a different conversation, I guess. Also, yeah, I didn't say anything. Sorry. Let me hide it for a second. And I don't know. Catch my own breath because I haven't talking for an hour and a quarter almost, and I don't know. I think I haven't really stopped that much. I had the excitement of when you have such visions. Let's say there is no way in which any verbal expression of them can be sufficient. So, although you can somehow understand that, that doesn't mean that you can absolutely, in its entirety, truly comprehend what that means. So there is always going to be a hope of, okay, with the next sentence, it might actually become a little bit clearer. So no. All of that is just to try and help. At least I go. The stream ends, and I am happy that at the very least I explained what the model was, because again, I'm angry that I never showed anything about that before. I used to think it was far simpler. Now, after having actually tried to do the work myself, now I know how hard it is to actually get something like that to exist. So, you know what? I can give you every single symbol if you want. Don't worry, you're not going to actually understand even how to place it. Even if I were to tell you, it's way too dependent on many other factors too, so it's entirely fine. It's good enough. Point is, we have that, and at some point, it's gonna become real. For now, it only exists in the imaginary space. And that's enough, I guess, yeah. Besides that, what else? I don't know, I don't really have... I'm not somebody who makes promises, I'm like making them and breaking them afterwards. So that's why I tend to not make any of those. The only one that I did make was, yeah, I am gonna waste my time. Like, when I was in the 500 stream, I said, yeah, I am gonna make sure that I make it. The promise was, I'm gonna make sure that we have the model by the 600 stream. We don't. I have to be honest, we don't, and I don't know when. I don't think by the 700 it will be even near completion, but we have that. So there is an idea. I wasn't bluffing. For the love of God, don't assume that it was actually for some reason or another just making it look like I do have some semblance of a concept when I in reality have no clue about what I want. I know exactly what I want. The problem is it's way too complicated. But as I said before, I don't know, at some point it will happen. And when that happens, I'm gonna be entirely happy and entirely glad that we will take the time that it needs to make it exist. What else? And yeah, I don't know. This journey is quite a long one. Like, being honest, I can see myself being around this space in maybe or for maybe the next. I I don't think it sounds crazy in terms of yeah, is this true? But I don't think it sounds crazy in itself because the reality still is. Yeah, if nothing else happens, we might very well still have, after 20 years, find ourselves here. I don't think it sounds that delusional. Like, delusional would be to say, yeah, and the goals are this and this and that. That's something else. But the reality is, I'm pretty sure I I can keep enjoying this for the next 17 years into the future. So yeah, at some point it's gonna exist the model, and at some point we're gonna enjoy the happiness of having that be. For now, all that we have is the awareness of it, not much else. And I don't know what more. I feel like, yeah, one of the other things it was the journey was in these last 100 streams. I got to the 500 one, and yeah, something somewhat major that happened was I finally decided to stream on YouTube. So that has been happening. It has been, I think, I'm not entirely sure. I think it has been 100 streams there. I'm not so sure because in the end, funnily enough, between the breaks, not breaks, between the times in which the stream died and I had to restart it, or the times in which I didn't realize that I had, for one reason or another, entirely abandoned what I was doing, so I ended up repeating numbers and whatnot, or for example, also the times in which we have a minimally good stream, but then the internet decides to fucking give up on me, so I end up forced to not even finish the stream. So in those days, I also like to reuse the same number because in the end, it isn't really a finished experience. If we have to, for one reason or another, abandon what we're doing, that's not a properly ended stream. If we have to give up because YouTube, not YouTube, my internet says, you know what? Today you're not finishing your stream. I don't count it as an actually finished stream. So yeah, point is, maybe 100, maybe a little bit more. That's great, and I'm happy that I finally started doing that. I don't know. There was a conversation that I had with Vtuber, Naya Nuka. I am pretty sure you know who she is. When I was talking with Naya, I also tried to do vertical. I want to end my own existence thinking also doing vertical. It's incredibly horrible to actually try to utilize the tools that YouTube provides you with to make vertical and non-vertical streaming. So no, we're not streaming vertical anymore. In the future, I might reconsider. For now, we only have horizontal, and that's enough. It serves as a way to save bots and such. So I'm more than glad with that. And I don't know. Yeah, it's part of the trying to actually utilize YouTube. What else? I already had for a long while the readings channel, and I didn't really dedicate that much time to it. So now I am trying to do it, and now I am actually actively trying to make sure that it happens. That also leads to things that does work out in multiple ways. Like, what's the point that I'm trying to make? Things are being done. We are working on stuff, and that's something more than nice to know, because in the end, yeah, I tend to always exist in the silence of my own self. I don't really tend to say, you know what, we have all of these things, and we have all of these concepts to appreciate, and we have all of this stuff to take into consideration, and all of these points to admire or to, yeah, picture in any way and whatever. It's enough as I live happily with it, but at the same time, I don't know. It really feels strange to know that. How are you doing, bro? I'm doing good. Why are you doing good? No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. What the fuck? Are you actually doing good? Yeah, we have enough great things happening. We have, as I was saying, like one of the main reason as to why we are here, for example, is it's already more than incredible that we have lasted for 600 or so streams, so that's already sufficient to celebrate. Then we also have all the other stuff. Things are slowly moving. I tend to always say that. Things are moving in directions that maybe are quite difficult to properly grasp, but the reality is, yeah, things are just happening. I am not really somebody who likes talking about any of that. Like, for example, I have one of the few things that I have started also to do was I have way too many folders and I want to blow up every single one of them because it's way too hard to navigate out of this. Here, I have a folder for texts related to content creation, yes. Not just between, more in general. That's also something that started happening, and I have to admit, it's nice to have ideas. It's compared to before. I never used to actually try to think out what could be useful, and it's nice to actually have the chance to do that. Like, I don't know. I have an idea actually because I am saying all of this, and you think, okay, but do you have anything actually working on that you are working on? Yeah, I do have some stuff. Let me see. The only and this is something that I don't actually know. I think I need to. I have shortcut. I need to make this thing a proper video, like a proper video file. I only have the project of the video. I don't know how you actually even export this thing into a proper video. If it's possible, we're gonna try to watch the little preview of what I have been working on for the last months. Ah, yeah, the story. Okay. The story is, because I was trying to say that, something that happened along the way. When I started to slowly come back to reality and understand that the model wasn't gonna be so possible to actually make, so possible to actually materialize and whatnot, then I tried and I did find out actually making videos is not as hard, not as complicated, not as difficult, as imposing as anything. So that's good. Can I move this anywhere? Like save us? Empty MLT? Okay, no, this is the project. Does this have any sort of export video? Can I export this? It exports this thing as an MP4 save. What did I just export? Let me see. I will actually have to check. Is this the video? Like, is this all that I have? Or is this something else? Video? What the fuck? Ah, it's exporting. Okay. I see. Good enough to know. Actually, I had yet to learn how to even export this thing. I know actually that Shortcut allows you. No, I didn't know that. I know that Shortcut allows you to edit. Yeah, that's what I know. But I don't know if Shortcut is one of those programs which you need to not only edit. No, sorry. which you edit, but from which after you finished editing, you also have to take into another program to render the video and whatnot. Like there are some that force you to render it outside of themselves. Like I think the most popular example, if I'm not wrong, is Adobe. Adobe Premiere doesn't render the videos itself. You have to render it in another program. So I didn't know that Shotcut allows you to render it inside of this own program. So give it a bit. Give it like a minute supposedly. You already are 70% of the video exported. And after that, we're gonna watch what little is there to watch from that. Like, it's only 2 minutes so far, but take into consideration how things are looking and whatnot. If everything goes right, if all the work is properly put in the scene and whatnot, we might be looking at something between the 20 and 30 minutes of duration. So yeah, 10% of the work has been done. We still have way too fucking much to do, and editing is not as physically impossible as utilizing Blender, but it's far more mentally taxing. It's far more repetitive. Like I don't know, I envy the people who can actually sit down and be like, ah yeah, let me edit my clips or let me edit my things. Mentally exhausting, blows up my neurons every single time I have to actually sit down to do that. But not as hard. Like I have some progress to show, so that's already enough. But I don't know, if I have to try to explain it in terms of how much more time we have to wait and such, no clue actually. I have to organize myself yet again. I don't know, I am still angry that yesterday I had to study for an exam, which I didn't even get to have, so that's actually entirely fantastic, and like, I try to remain as entirely distant from that topic, because the reality is that probably has set me back a year, but it doesn't matter in the slightest. We're not here to talk about my career. Point is, having to take care of going to university and whatnot ends up making it quite exhausting. Also, this is the video. Are you kidding me? 23 kilobytes? What the fuck? Motherfucker. It sounds okay. I am gonna cringe so fucking hard. It works entirely. Also, it's 5 minutes. Holy shit. It's fuck. Can I leave you with this video? Can we run a poll and I leave you with this video, and I can excuse myself. I have to not even see. Oh my god, I haven't watched this garbage entirely. I know it's good, but I cannot avoid but to fucking cringe at the idea of actually watching it. Like, holy shit. This is also because there is a difference between my normal speaking voice and having to actually force myself to read the script that I already wrote and whatnot. So it's kinda hard to sit through that. So I don't know. Anyway, it also, let me give you a little bit more context while I set this thing up. It also works under the same format of, and you know what's fantastic? It actually happens that this thing exists in such a way that more than surely there is not going to be another replica of this. Like, I don't know. To some degree, I understand that notion of, try to have something in your mind that only you can think about, that you won't find others also imitating. If you have an idea, have it be of your own, because otherwise, how can you truly know if what you are thinking about is that useful in any way? or what you have encountered is truly unique enough to actually symbolize something, so to speak, okay? In that being so, I have to admit, I don't think it's really that complicated to actually encounter that. What's complicated is committing yourself to making those things exist. Like, yeah, the analysis that I can make is, in many occasions, what happens is I am entirely against the proposition of let's work towards creating this. No, I don't want to do that. I am entirely against that. I am completely opposed to doing that because I don't know, the surroundings say that it isn't going to be worth it. I don't think that it is going to be that meaningful to spend my time on that and such. So you keep accumulating reasons to give up on such hopes and goals and dreams and whatnot. Although the idea that you have is wonderful by itself. Point being, I have those, and some, like, also another factor is the idea that I have is quite impossible to achieve, as it happens with the model. I think it's possible, but the reality is I don't know. I don't currently possess a quarter of my day free every single day to dedicate itself to just create the model. I have a handful of hours free every now and then to actually be capable of doing something like editing. But I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Let me. Also, know that this is an unfinished project and whatnot. So yeah, don't expect much. Wait. Let me see. Give me a second because I think the volume is gonna like blow your ears. Let me return to here before playing it because I think it's kinda way too fucking loud. How's the volume, brother? It's holy fucking shit. It's way too loud. I have minus 13 decibels, and it's loud. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. So loud. Incredible. So, yeah. Now, roll on the proper video. Give me a second. Let me become. I have the scene ready, motherfucker. Wait. I don't? Okay, no. It's that OBS forgets to capture what I already had opened. Okay, here. We come here. We have the guitar. That's good. We have this. I said it comically, but in reality, yeah, I'm not gonna be here for the duration of this. Let me actually make myself vanish so that you get the full experience or something like that. I don't know. This is only on theaters. Now you get to see a preview of the next great acclaimed movie by the famous director Vtuber. Thank you very much. Now, please get comfortable in your seats. This is only a test, so any complaints or such, I don't know, whatever. Point is, once again, a little bit of the backstory. This was what I have been working on after realizing that the model is impossible to do currently. So yeah, it's only a bit of it anyways. Like the runtime says 5 minutes. I think it's only like 3, but I'm gonna be around to stop it when I see that it dies again. So anyway, any other thing? I don't think so. So yeah. Let me play it. Let me mute myself. Do I mute myself? I guess so. Now, I'm gonna be around, but not watching it. and probably if I don't mute myself, you're gonna be hearing me cringing the fuck out. So yeah, no. Yeah. Now, for real. Now presenting the video 1. No, that's not the real name of the video. It's how the video was exported as. Yeah, mute. Thank you. Please turn off your phones and your devices while the screening is going on. Thank you. There are many works out there, many ideas, and many essays about all the things that happened in this world already. Nowadays, information is in the tip of our hands. We can see almost everything at the press of a button. Yet, despite all of these advancements in knowledge, we remain unaware, unwilling to talk about something else, something that happened long ago already, and that has affected one of the most influential foundations of knowledge for humans. We have to talk about how philosophy lost its place in the world and why. Philosophy is the discipline that lays all questions for other disciplines. We always talk about philosophy based on its constituent parts. Philos meaning love, Sophia meaning wisdom. Thus, the concept is simple based on the etymology. Philosophy means love for knowledge, what became the discipline advocated to it. After this, it should need no further introduction, since we have had it almost for as long as we existed, one way or another. Philosophy was a fundamental part of the human being, as that a discipline that brought forward most of the discussions that have been present in the mainstream discourse for all eternity. Things such as the meaning of life, the afterlife, the reason as to why we are here, the faculties of the human being and its constituent parts, what is the intellect, what are good arguments, how to discuss things properly, and what is objectivity, and much more of these discussions. And there we go, that's where it ends for now. Thank you very much. Now the lights shall turn on again. Please leave the theater slowly. Don't rush for the exit. The world is fine. There we go. Welcome back. Yeah. So that's all that we have for now to show. Thank you. And as I said, yeah, basically that's where we are currently in terms of the project. But as I said, there is something being worked on. Like, also, it's not as hard, but it is still incredibly fucking hard to actually learn to edit and whatnot. Mostly because I don't know, Shortcut isn't really documented. Like, fucking, what's the word? Blender has the problem of having so much documentation that in reality you will end up with way too much content and way too many things to look at and whatnot. So it's impossible to deal with the loads and loads of things that are being thrown your way. Also, with the added problem of Blender having not only that, but also so many versions of it existing throughout time that may, maybe you have a guide for something from 5 years ago and the current iteration of Blender completely moved on from that particular way of handling this system, this mechanic, this piece of the software. So now there isn't even anything present like that. Okay, Shortcut is different in different but similar because in reality it has been a constantly evolving project. It seems to be the case. So you don't really have anything like that. Sorry, you do have many cases where you end up with things that might be similar, but don't really exist in the void of. Yeah, this is something actually that I can see. This is something that I can compare to its older iterations, no? It has mutated quite a lot, and not only that, but also it has the problem of this one isn't really that well documented to begin with. There are some functions that might not really have been changed whatsoever, but the program overall hasn't really been picked up by any, I don't know, professional YouTuber or team behind that to show you how the functions work. So quite a lot of it is either gained somewhere else or something. I don't know. I don't know how people make shortcut work as their main editing software. Like, probably if you do know, you can just transition into it very easily. If you already know how the conventions of editing softwares work and are and such, you can directly jump into it, but I have a fucking hard time. So yeah, all that you have seen has been like, I don't know, 40 hours of work or so, and that's also, once again, that's also the problem. I don't have something that I learned with Blender was you cannot really so slowly move towards the project itself. You have to dedicate yourself to it intensely. In this case, I can't do that. But editing is a completely different beast. Projects might be even longer, even if you know what you have to do. But the only thing that you need is the idea. You can go at it 15 minutes a day and you're gonna get it at some point. So yeah, very slowly moving towards that. But as you just saw, that's incredibly short. That's pretty much nothing compared to all the stuff that there is still to see from that. So yeah, it's somewhat present, not entirely so, because in the end, yeah, everything else is still being worked on. And yeah, besides that, I don't think I have much more to add. Like, I think I said what I wanted the most. That was, yeah, this is the model that I had in mind when I talked about it in the 500 stream. And after having given up on the model, have you been working on something, or have you been on a depressive spiral just existing and reacting? No, I have also been working on that. But that also has been another beast on its own that I wasn't even ready to deal with. So yeah, I have been enjoying that. And also, like, I am not gonna show you that. You can go check that one out for yourself. It's much, much, much simpler. But there is also the readings channel, which is also far comfortable to, far easier to do, sorry. Because that one is literally, like, I can do it with just OS, rather. Not anything else, so yeah. We have that. Besides that, no. Anything else? I don't know. I guess. Yeah. Maybe. What was it? Gonna start working on something like fucking setting the karaoke up before it's even later. So yeah. Yeah. How did I even check for audio synchronicity last time? I think when I was in my older PC, the biggest problem was that not only did I have okay, I have specifically copy this. Wait a second. Let me paste this here and let me remove this. Yes. link. What the fuck am I doing this? I shouldn't be doing this, right? Like, yeah. When I did karaoke, I did it with, I did it on this exact same scene. The only thing different was that I used this background instead of anything else, like this one background. Yeah. So maybe we can do it like that. Yeah, I don't have to show you the video, but yeah, it's still necessary to actually use the video, because in the end, if we don't have the video, I have to calibrate. We have to find out to begin with how much lag there is. So yeah, I don't know. That's gonna be fun. And yeah, I don't have much more to say in terms of the stuff that I have been working on. I guess I don't know. Besides that, as I tried to say somewhat, like, yeah, there is another topic, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like that one isn't really as happy, so unless there is any actual interest on that, I can keep it to myself, so to speak, because in the end, yeah, it might be far more difficult to, far heavier in some ways. It's good that we have gotten to enjoy being around, but in the end, it might not end that greatly with that topic, so to speak. So yeah, I don't know. Also, do you have any song that I can easily play? I like how I used to have so much music entirely. Okay, this one. It's gonna be. It's part of the experience, I guess. It's not all that great because unavoidably it's me with the delay, but we can do this. Let me see. Uh, Actually, how did I even test to see the delay? I think I not last time, when I had to do that in the other PC, I did take my time. I entirely forgot to do that here. So that's kinda what has screwed up everything here. I didn't really remember that you should have tested. So I forgot to do that, so we're paying the consequences. But I guess it's good. It's good enough. So let me see. If I put this here, I think I have to mute the guitar. Let me see. Uh, Also, what's up with the size? Right, I used to have the videos even bigger somehow. It's the older PC had the commodity of having zero issues with the framing. I have imagined how old this scene is, that I have it set for YouTube, but nothing fits because it is all fitted for when I was using the older PC, not this one. So, yeah, I don't know. Is that the case? I think the video also is like kinda tiny. Let me see. Let me pick this one up. No, yeah, it's the fitting. Amazing, unbelievable. Let me see. Then let me choose this. Let me. Okay, we're gonna be spending quite a while of time eating stuff and whatnot, but it's fine. It's part of being around this or similar enough. Do it like that. And now let me zoom in so that I can actually properly crop. And I fucked up already. Yeah. like this, and now, give me a second. Oh my god, it's not so hard. I am just struggling because I haven't really beaten anything like this in a while, in a long while. Imagine I used to have this thing literally already almost on command for when I used to think that doing something like React Slope was good. Imagine how much things have changed that I don't even do that anymore. But it's fine, I guess. It's part of the experience. So we have this over here. We have this. Everything should be working. And question is, if I transition into here, okay, we don't have any more the guitar. I need to activate this, and I still don't know. I think I will have to record the, because even if I tried to, like, yeah, even if I tried to, you will not have. I keep moving everything around. I am kinda trolling through. I keep forgetting. You know what? Let me give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. But yeah, like, at least you got to actually see there is no delay, so I cannot really not run the test and instantaneously go check it somewhere. There is the benefit of having a good enough PC is that there is no delay. The problem of having no delay whatsoever is that also you can't in any way actually make it work based on how this operates in terms of, yeah, we don't have the downtime to actually see it work. Also, what's up with, why is the video so big? What? I didn't make it so big. What the fuck? Why does it look like that? Like this? It was like out of the stream borders. The fuck can happen, I guess, I don't know. Whatever. So, I was saying, thank God I realized that, yeah, I will record it, I guess, I don't know. Wouldn't it be so nice to actually have a tool of sorts to instantaneously fix stuff like that? Also, I have a good solution for the problem, actually. I make this change, I open this here, I get this here, I get this here. Okay, with this here, we should have the possibility of, let me see, is the scene gonna work like that? No, it's not gonna work like that. Wonderful. Like this? Okay, should be working now. Yes, it's working. It's so. I don't know. I don't really like when people show their karaoke. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. I feel like it's meaningless because in the end, you can accompany the experience you singing yourself. The more, yeah, I want to also participate in the activity, but I don't know. I am crazy enough to not think about that. I guess I don't know. Also, wait a second. Wait a tiny bit. Okay. If there is no other question, if there is nothing, something has to happen actually, and that is, that's the end of the YouTube transmission, because the audio is gonna remain up to there. The karaoke. I don't wanna. I already got the other video with the music when I was playing League, not claimed, but noticed enough. And I am pretty sure the copyright, particularly in the karaoke versions, is different, because I already had problems even on Twitch with the votes, so that's not gonna be remaining. So yeah, before playing anything, Before starting the tests and whatnot, I know. Thank you for everything, YouTube people. That's where this ends. I am sad that there was no possibility of seeing one another in the Twitch stream. The karaoke did pass on to eternity, but I don't know. Thank you anyway.